Well, I picked the best day for it, didn't I? Today we're going to be doing the brakes on this. She's just about ready to send for a roadie, but I'm not happy with the brakes. The brakes work fine, but the fluid looks absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to drain the fluid and I'm going to put new fluid in and re-bleed all the brakes so as everything's working 100%. So if you want to follow me, I'll show you how to do it. So the most important thing to have to to change your brake fluid is the right brake fluid. So you get like .3, .4, .4.5, .5. What does it all mean? Well, it's all to do with the temperature that your brakes get to. Remember, when you brake and your discs are biting or your pads are biting your disc, they get hot, especially if you're heavy braking, really heavy braking. That heat transfers into the caliper and into the fluid. So brake fluid has a boiling point, and that is determined by the dot. This is super .4. This is what's recommended for the Falcon Ute, super .4 brake fluid, and you see boiling point 525 degrees Fahrenheit. So always make sure you use the right brake fluid. And if you're not sure what brake fluid to use, have a look on the cap, because the cap on your brake fluid reservoir will tell you exactly what type of fluid to put in your car. So first thing, get your tools ready. So I've got this super duper gadget here. I plug an air line into here. I put this plug onto the bleeding nipple and squeeze her on, and once she's on I can slacken off the nipple. It sucks the fluid out the line into this chamber, so you can see the fluid going through this hose, and you'll see when it changes colour to the new fluid, and that's when you switch it off and move to the next nipple. But first we need to take the cover off the brake fluid reservoir and get all the dirty shitty brake fluid out of there first. So when you take your brake fluid reservoir off, always give it a clean. Always clean it first, so that when you unclip it, any crap that's on there won't fall in. Here we go, and give it a clean inside, like that. And then you have a rubber, Jesus, you have a rubber diaphragm. So give that a clean as well. And sit it somewhere where it's going to be safe. I'll put that on here. That way I'll know where it is. And I'll sit it on top of my cloth. You want to try not to get brake fluid into your bodywork or anything like that, because it's not very good for your paintwork. So the next thing you want to do on your hose, this one has a bit on it for plugging onto the nipples. Pull off to start with, so you're just left with the hose, and switch your machine on. Now I'll probably put my compressor on as well, but that's okay. The noisy thing. And suck out all the brake fluid as much as you can. And another half as well. So once you've done all that, if it's dirty looking inside, give it a wee clean with a cloth. This one's not bad actually, it's quite clean. There was a wee bit grime on the bottom of it, but that was okay. It was sucked out by the bleeder. Now, brake fluid. Pour it in gently. Now, we're going to be bleeding this, and I've overfilled it, which is okay. Fill it to the top, and once I start bleeding that level, I'll go down. Once it's bleeding, I'll keep an eye on that as it's bleeding and top up as necessary. Now, a wee tip with your brake fluid. Never use old brake fluid. Always use fresh stuff in a sealed container, or if it's a container you've used before, seal it back up, put it down. Don't shake it, because if you shake your container of brake fluid, it could put air bubbles into it, which would go into your system. And most of all, never ever use old brake fluid. Once you've drained the brake fluid out, put it with your waste oil, get rid of it, whatever, but never use old brake fluid, because if you do, old brake fluid has the dirt in it and it's going to go back into your system. It'll probably have air in it, it's probably spent as well. You know, the old brake fluid's maybe been heated up, you know, time and time again, so it's lost its viscosity. So always use fresh brake fluid. So to make that life that wee bit easier, I'm going to jack the back of the car up. Alright. So what I'm going to do for easiness, so as I can show you properly, is take the wheel off. I don't normally, I'd go under with my board, which there's plenty of room to do that, and bleed it from underneath, but in order to show you, I'll take the wheel off. So here we are, I hope you can get a good view of that. Here's the nipple here. Here's your fluid reservoir, your fluid goes into here. Now, just before we do this, I'll just explain to you. When you're bleeding your brakes, the most important thing when you're bleeding is check where your caliper is. Your caliper. Check where your fluid is, your master cylinder, okay? So you want to bleed the furthest point from the master cylinder. The master cylinder's on that side over there, so I want to bleed the back at this side. Then the nearest one is the back at that side. Then the nearest one will be this one, and finally that side. So you always start for the furthest off point, and that way when you bleed your first caliper, you're sucking the fluid all the way through your caliper system right up to the back. The rest won't need as much bleeding, as you'll find out when you do it. Anyway, we'll go on with this. So here's your caliper. You pull the rubber grommet off like I've done. Now, it's worth, if you want, put a spanner on it, just make sure it's going to turn. Don't slacken it right off. And then put your thing on it. Ooh, your bleeder. And now where's my thing? I did have a thing holding this up here. We'll just stretch it up there. Now I'll put my bleeder on, switch it on, and I'll bleed it until I see the fluid changing for the clean stuff. Maybe. Here we go. So we have to keep our eye on that to make sure that she's okay, and while it's bleeding, come round to the front and have a wee look. So the fluid level started to go down. So that was the first side done at the back. Now I'm doing the other side. Brake fluid's running through there nicely. I'll just keep it doing that, and then we'll go and have a look. Yep, fluid's going down. So when you're bleeding the brakes, you can use the system I've got, or one of the best things I think is you get a one-way valve. So you get a long hose, put it into a jar to collect the fluid, and it's got a one-way valve in it. So you can slacken the nipple off and just pump away in your brakes, and it'll pump the fluid through the pipe, but the one-way valve stops it going back in, you know, it stops it sucking it back in. And you can pump away, and when you see your reservoirs down a good bit, top it up, and that's your brake done. Or the other way is manual, forgetting I've got this, but pretend it was manual, that was just a hose going into a glass. What you would do is you would have your partner, assistant, wife, girlfriend, whatever, sitting in the car. So you would put your hose on your nipple, it would be shut, you'd say, press down. So she's pressing down, I'll release that nipple, you see the fluid rushing up. Now just lock it back and then up. So the pedal comes up, it won't suck in air because I've locked the nipple. And then down again, and once they've pressed the pedal down, just open up the nipple, close the nipple, and up. And then down again. Once it's down, open up the nipple, close the nipple, and up. And you just keep doing it like that until your brakes are bled. But luckily we've got a good system in place. So anyway, I'll finish this one manually. Down, up, down. Just remember, if you've got one of these babies, brilliant for taking nuts off. When you put the nuts on, put them on behind first. Don't rattle them straight on with this, because if you cross thread it, job's done, you've knackered it. Always put them on behind, tighten them up with this, but don't rely on it for tightening them up to the proper torque. Always use a bar, just a wee tip. So I've topped the fluid up again. The reason the engine's running is there was a bit of an oil leak, and it seems to be okay now, but I'm just leaving it running while I'm doing this so that I can check it after it and see if there's any further leaks. So hope it doesn't interfere with the sound of the video. So I'm going to do the front. Obviously the front, the furthest away from the caliper. On the front, and the nipple, you can see line ins here, the nipple's up and here. So I'll get that done next. So as I was saying, use a ring to slacken it. Like that. And then just tighten it up a wee bit. And that way you can get your glasses. That's it. Set the hose on. And hopefully this will work. So once that's done and the fluid colour's changed to nice fresh fluid, just set the nipple off. Like that. And the bleeder off. Done. Yeah, squirt just to get the fluid out, and we'll go to the other side. But first, I'll put my wheel on, and then that'll be that done. So you can see how much fluid that front took. Wasn't an awful lot, but it took it down for the top, down to there. That's enough. So next, I'll do this side. So we'll shut the bonnet. Yeah. Still tempted to cut the bodywork, but Jesus. The cloud doesn't look too good. Anyway, let's have a look at this, see if the brakes are alright. love about these Falcons, especially these Utes, because they've got like a kiddie seat here. Could be an adult seat really. It's all kitted out with a seat belt, so you get straight in the front. I like to call them gear change, reverse, neutral, drive. You know, and you're just fasten seat belt, neutral, reverse. Oh, she's a beast and a half, so she is. Brakes are perfect. Yeah. Fasten seat belt. So aye, that's it. I think I'll just leave her in park. I'll not leave the handbrake going, it's not a good idea in case it's 2 or 3 days before I'm back out. But everything's working in her now, you know, the window goes up and down. The door handle works, the lock works. You know, you can lock both front doors with that, unlock them again. So yeah. So, that's no bad. So when I first moved to Australia, these Utes were popular, whether it was the Ford Falcon or the Holden Commodore. The Holden Commodore, for those that don't live in Australia, the Holden Commodore was a... Jesus, do you know, I just run back and forward and my light's sitting there and I never ran over it. How lucky is that? Must be the luck of the Irish. Aye, I've got Irish in me. Aye, when I moved here, like, you could get the Ford Falcon Commodore, a Ford Falcon Ute, and for those that don't know, Ute means utility vehicle. So this is just like the Ford Falcon car, except it's the Ute version, and you could get the Holden Commodore, but it's looked a lot the same to anybody that wouldn't be in the know. And they were the V6 3.8 litre. This is the straight 6 4 litre. So when I moved here, I mean, I only moved to Australia in 2008. These were all the rage, and you know, every man in his dug had one. Whenever you know, you meet new people and that, and what kind of car you got? You know, I've got this and I've got the Ute. You know, everybody had a Ute. But now these are being replaced by these 4x4s, you know, like the Ford Rangers and Jeeps and things like that. People are going more for the 4x4s rather than the Utes. And that's just, yeah, plus the fact they don't build these anymore, which is a shame. The government let the Holden and Ford factories close, you know. They could have stepped in and kept a car industry in Australia. But no. And to be honest with you, I mean, I've driven cars all over the world, and I've driven every type of car, and to be honest with you, these things and the Holden Commodores, they're probably the best car you'll find to drive. I find them fantastic, you know. But everybody's into these sort of things now, you know, Nissans and all that. But as for me, well, I'm still into my bikes, and I'm going to get back to them soon. KTM done the battery the other day and it's all running lovely. I've had it charged up for 2 days. This needs a good clean so as I can get it out and running about again. And there's the rain on. Just finishing time, eh? Anyway, I'm going to put my trolley jack away, put all my gear away, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheery bye then.